Welcome to Finish First Financially. I'm Goran Radanovic. Today, I actually wanted to do something a bit different. Usually, I upload personal finance videos on various topics, and today I wanted to do more of a Q&A type of thing. And I scoured the internet for queries, and I found one. I found a post on Reddit. Now, my intention is just to read the post and then to give my take on it, my 2 cents. And obviously, everything that I say is not financial or investment advice. It's just purely for entertainment purposes. And as I said, it's just my take. The post says, I got laid off mid-January. I'm going through my emergency fund. I have about a month and a half left worth of runway. I don't know if I'll find employment by then. The interview process has been pretty long and things are just taking a lot longer than I thought. I understand that this is not an ideal situation, but I don't think I have much choice between my mortgage, health insurance, and the turbulence of the industry I'm in. He's in the gaming and tech industry. I may need to pull from my retirement accounts. I don't want to do this, but I may need to. I have about equal amounts in a Roth IRA and rollover IRA. Which would it be better to pull from? Now, I'm already collecting unemployment, but that is just enough to cover my mortgage and interest, not taxes nor the HOA, Homeowners Association fees. I should have had an emergency fund that lasts 6 to 12 months, not 4 to 5 months. Okay, so firstly, I want to acknowledge the good things that he's done, because there definitely are certain things that have put him in an advantage. And the first one is the investments, the Roth IRA. That's great for long-term planning for retirement. That's a good one. And then the other thing that he did well is to have an emergency fund for situations like this where he lost his job. And he was able to cover 4 to 5 months. But he believes that if he had just had 6 months of the emergency fund to cover those expenses for that period, then he would be fine. He wouldn't be in this mess where he's running out of money. And that's not what I see going on here. What I see here is actually what applies to people who even have jobs and are struggling financially, and that is their ego. And this person, if he had gone out and gotten any kind of job when he lost his job in the tech industry, doesn't matter whether it was DoorDash, whether it was working as a cashier making $3,000 per month, he would not be in the situation that he is. And I actually believe that he would not be in a position, if he had earned this $3,000, that he wouldn't even need to withdraw from the emergency fund, because it says, okay, so unemployment is covering the mortgage and interest, but not the taxes and the HOA. So with $3,000, he would be fine, or maybe at worst case scenario, maybe take out a few $100 to $1,000 from his emergency fund to supplement that shortfall that he wasn't making at his new job. That's the first thing. And the reason that he didn't take that route, now I don't know this person obviously, so I can't say for certain, but this resonates with me, because I was exactly like this when I lost everything. I went completely bust. I thought, well, something's going to come along the way and it's going to sort out my situation. I was pretty much delusional. And the reason that I didn't really do anything about my situation, even though it was really bad, is because I had an ego. I felt that, I'm too good for this job. I'm just going to wait to have that top job. And that's exactly what's going on here. Instead of going out, finding any kind of work to replace that lost, obviously he might not be able to replace his income that he was earning in the tech industry, but just to have something to cover his expenses, or at least a good portion of them, would have helped him tremendously. And you can see this even with people who have jobs, and you can really tell by the amount of debt that they've got. And the reason that they're in the situation where they're just taking out one debt after another is because they're worried about what their neighbor is going to say, what their family is going to think, and who's going to gossip about them and say what it is that they're going to say. That's really what it comes down to. And the biggest reason that most people won't downgrade, so in this case, he didn't want to go and get a job that wasn't in this industry. He felt probably that he was too good for any kind of other job than the industry that he was in. So he was waiting for that. That's why, and it was taking a while. That's the case of the ego coming through and not wanting to downgrade. But with other people who have jobs, they don't want to downgrade. They don't want to sell that car that makes them look like they are successful. They don't want to stop using their credit card for vacations, for buying clothes, because what are people going to think now if you're no longer driving a fancy Jeep or fancy truck and you've downgraded to a $4,000 Toyota? What are they going to say? And this is the thing that's keeping people in bondage and preventing them from progressing financially. It's always comes down to keeping up with the Joneses and worrying about what other people are going to say and think. And you really need to let go of that. And I can tell you from personal experience, the best thing that happened to me when I lost everything is that I lost my ego. And from that day, I structured my finances in such a way that they benefited me, and not worrying about what people are going to think, and actually making decisions based on worrying about what other people are going to say and what they're going to think. And this is a big problem for many people, whether employed or unemployed. And if you look at the situation, if he had gone out to work as a cashier, the reason that he didn't is because he was probably worried about, if somebody sees me, who knows me, and I worked in the tech industry, now I'm working as a cashier. Oh my goodness, that the word is going to spread, and they think that they're going to talk about me failing in life, and it's just going to be embarrassing. And what's even, now we're talking about retirement accounts, because he mentioned having to withdraw, or was about to withdraw from that because he's running out of money. If he had had this job, whatever it was, the question of withdrawing from a retirement account would not even come up, because now you're talking about actually affecting your future. You're taking from what you should be enjoying later on. You want to take it now and spend it immediately and have nothing for the future. So that's the power of worrying about what other people are going to think of you, trying to impress them. And the biggest problem is that we don't use cash to fund all of these things. We want to impress people, but we take out debt. And then to maintain that lifestyle, we just keep on taking more and more debt until we get so overwhelmed and we can't even make the minimum payments. And that's exactly what happened to me. And with regards to taking on any kind of job, that's what I did. I also drove as a taxi. I got a job as a filler for vending machines, and I was filling them with coffee and stuff. I did whatever I needed to do to keep having an income and to learn a new skill so that I could progress financially. And that is something that most people struggle with because of that ego. It's holding them back. And as soon as you let go of it and you stop worrying about other people, stop worrying about trying to impress them, then you're going to take certain actions that are going to favor your financial situation. You're going to structure your life differently. You're going to have probably less expenses, and you're going to take different risks, different routes that you would not have taken had you been worried about trying to impress others and worrying what they were going to say or what they were going to think. So that's my take on it. I will have another query, another post in the next couple of days. Until then, thanks for watching.